Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Namaste Sober. We have this live class every Monday night from 7 to about 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, I always record this because I'm hoping that it reaches other people who are looking for an opportunity to step into a space where they're supported in their sobriety and in their own personal growth. So, welcome to the class this evening. Um, and Sorry, I just need to make sure I hit all of my notes. Okay. So yeah, when we come to meet for this class too, and it's recorded, we never share the individual share time. So you'll notice that I pause and invite you to share as well. So this week we are talking again within the yamas and the niyamas, the first two limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga yoga system. And we have covered Santosha, which is acceptance. We've covered Satya, which is truth. And we've covered Ashima, which is nonviolence. And I think that's it. If not, there was one more. You can go and check it on the YouTube. So this week we're talking about tapas. It's self-discipline. That's kind of the idea. Tapas has a lot of different meanings. Uh, it's translated or interpreted in many different ways. So you might hear tapas as burning away the insecurities or self-discipline or perseverance, just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of energy we're stepping into tonight. So tapas is a niyama, and the niyamas, which are personal observances, are one of the 8 limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga yoga system. And I really believe that these teachings are the teachings and the practice of yoga are really beneficial on the path of sobriety, and of course, just on the path of growth and enlightenment. And the niyamas, like I said, have to do with personal observances, our relationship with ourselves, and we'll talk about more in a minute. But our relationship to ourselves is really important. So let's go ahead and come in to just for today. The beginning of every class, there is agreements in the chat that just help to hold the space sacred, and what happens in the Namaste Sober room stays in the Namaste Sober room. So you can use the chats. The agreements are there, and also the just for today is in the chats as well. So we start out with just for today. Take a moment to come into an easy seated pose if you already aren't there. Straighten up your spine. Bring the chin parallel to the earth. Take a big breath in to call your presence more fully into the space and the practice this evening. And just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And just for today, I will be grateful. Nice big breath in and exhale, because it's always just for today. So now we're going to move into that individual share time. But first, of course, I'm going to introduce myself and kind of share my thoughts before I open up the floor. I am Kate Frauchi. I am the owner of Eclectic Kate LLC, and I am a $200 registered yoga teacher and all kinds of accolades, but that doesn't matter here tonight in this space. What matters is that I have chosen the sober path, and I have been on the sober path for almost 3 years in September. And when working, when looking at this subject of tapas, I still struggle with that a lot. Self-discipline is tough. And for some people, it looks like it comes really easy. Like for my husband, he can just decide that he's not gonna eat something, and he doesn't eat it. And for me, it's like you almost gotta chain it in the back room and make me forget about it, because otherwise I'm gonna want it. So yeah, self-discipline has always been a struggle. But realizing that after I got sober, I realized oh my gosh, I broke so many promises to myself. And that like became such a habit with drinking. I'd promised myself that I wasn't going to drink on, until Friday, and then I broke that promise and I was drinking on Wednesday. And like just realizing like how how little self-discipline I had. And when I tried to implement that self-discipline, um I would just break those promises, and that kept me in that like cycle of not feeling good about myself and like fueling that drinking, because I wasn't feeling good about myself because I couldn't accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish, and I broke promises that I made to myself. And it's like you just like run around in that little like cycle. And so yeah, tapas is definitely something that yoga has helped to cultivate more of within me. And also, the further and further I get away from alcohol, the more and more I recognize how important it is to keep those promises to myself and have that self-discipline of showing up for my practices and nourishing my body properly, and all of those things that I've created for myself, um, to just create a level of health and wellness and joy that I've never experienced, and I would not have been able to experience if I was still in the bottle. So yeah, that's my thoughts on tapas. And right now, my self-discipline, my tapas, tonight, my intention in the practice of burning away the impurities is focused on my sugar. Because I think that some of you maybe who have stopped drinking can identify that maybe the coffee drinking increased, or maybe the sugar intake increased, and we kind of find those comforts in some other things. And so then we identify, oh geez, like I'm really finding this comfort in sugar. Let's see how we can have some self-discipline and create a better habit and routine around it. Because again, like, you continually, like I was talking about, continually breaking those promises to yourself, it just becomes a habit, and then it doesn't become a big deal. And it doesn't become something that's a problem. But it is a problem when you break promises to yourself. Um, so yeah, that's my thoughts. Um, so this is the opportunity that we take in our class when we go live to open up the floor. We have about 2 to 3 minutes a piece to just offer anything up that's on our hearts, what's on the shoulders, what do you need to kind of shake off, exercising the throat chakra, opening it up, or like what you're celebrating or what you're struggling with. This is not a space to fix or change. We're here to witness you in this time. And of course, not offering any advice, just witnessing. So, also, again, if you're joining us in the replay, please go ahead and pause the video at this point. Take some time to either write or vocalize, and we are holding space for you. So that's what's going to happen. Thank you for taking that time for yourself. We witness you, we support you, and we love you. So let's go ahead and deepen into our practice, our discussion on tapas tonight. Go ahead, again, bring yourself into that easy seated position. Close the eyes, straighten the spine. Take a few breaths. Let it go out the mouth. Let all of that we just released go out back into neutrality. Return to us with high vibrations. As we witness each other in this circle, we recognize the sacredness of courage and vulnerability, the power of community as we individually expand, and the love we find through forgiveness of ourselves. Let each practice we show up to be a guiding light, not only into ourselves, but on the path of sobriety and on the ultimate path of expansion. Nice big inhale again. Okay, so tapas, and that's, I've been looking up the pronunciations because Sanskrit can be hard sometimes, and that's what I've seen. So tapas, it's a niyama, the courage to change the things that you can. And again, as we're moving through these niyamas, I'm finding a lot of like correlations between the big book, which is found in AA, and like it's just really interesting. Um, so, like I said, if I didn't know better, maybe the big book took a page or two from the Ashtanga yoga system, the niyamas. But anyways, Leslie Kaminoff, she wrote one of the yoga books that I'm looking through. It's a yoga anatomy book, and she puts it like this, and I really really like this. So tapas is in relationship with Svadhyaya and Ishvara pranidhana. Pranidhana. I tried. I'm like I said, I tried. And so those Svadhyana and Ishvara pranidhana, those are other niyamas and yamas. Tapas is the courage to change what you can. Ishvara pranidhana is the serenity to accept what you can't change. And the svadhyaya is the wisdom to know the difference. So there's your serenity prayer right there. And the the niyamas and the yamas, I know, right? Like just wound right into it. You're like, oh, okay. So I love that because I really do like the serenity prayer because again, like it all interweaves. It's amazing. So without tapas, which could also be defined as discipline, zeal, internal heat, without that drive, there is no change physically, mentally, or spiritually. And I'm sure you've come across somebody like that before. And it kind of like, for me, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see somebody that has that fire isn't quite there. But the good news is that we can reignite it. We can light it back up. And a lot of times when we come into sobriety, come into the journey of sobriety, our tapas is really, really not. It's like coals. It's like hot coals, and there's still something there, but it's been put out a lot by that alcohol. Um, so really, like, you've already taken the first step by coming to the mat, and tapas on the mat actually helps us to remember to keep coming back and to keep fighting the good fight. And building that internal heat physically can actually burn away impurities, which is another meaning behind tapas. And so, like, as we're moving and as we're building that heat, I always say we're moving energy, and we're kind of burning through obstacles. Or for instance, when you're moving through a little bit more of a heat building vinyasa, when you get to the end of it, you're like, yeah, like it feels really good. And that fire gets ignited a little bit. That tapas is like really going. So there is a question that we really should ponder, though, on and off the mat. So just because you can change something, does it mean that you should? So I think that's a really important consideration to take, because just like fire, it can be harnessed for good or it can be harnessed for bad. And so tapas can be transformative, or unchecked, it can be really destructive. So keep that in mind. So consider what changes are healthy and necessary. And when you are restless or over efforting your way into a pose or action or relationship that doesn't need changing. So, consider that. Consider, when you're like, oh, I have the power to change this. Does it really need to be changed, though? Or are you changing it for selfish reasons? Like that's where you want to harness that tapas for good and not have it be that destructive fire that just burns everything to the ground. Embodying tapas is something that I think all newly sober, and like most anybody with sober time, I think everybody in that space can agree that it is really important. Tapas is really important, that self-discipline, that fire. Not having the courage to change the things that we can, we've all been there. We're sitting here today. That's why we're here. With that clouded lens we were looking through, we couldn't see the truth that we are that powerful. We kept giving our power away to alcohol and clouding our lens up and not realizing, what kind of power we held within. And instead of trying to make the change, we just went to go and Band-aid the change, Band-aid it, right? Instead of facing it. So when we ended our relationship with alcohol, our relationship with self became incredibly important. I think anybody can agree to that, because there's a lot of things that we have to unpack after we stop drinking, because of course we've been shoving it down. And so that does take a little bit of self-discipline. Far too often, we have broken every single promise we have made to ourselves and to others, to the extent of it being habitual. And I've already mentioned this. That shifts when we make the choice to quit drinking. I truly believe that. It suddenly becomes incredibly important to our own sobriety to embody fierce self-honesty, radical acceptance, celebration, of course, and then the courage to move forward with tapas that you've cultivated through this excavation, and have the courage to explore what is on the other side of the lifestyle of a drinker. And I think anybody here that has any time can agree that it's way more amazing and it's way less scary than what our mind was making it out to be. So keep that in mind. It's usually not quite as scary, and it's usually way more awesome than we could have ever imagined. But again, that's the ego trying to keep us safe, and that's for another practice. So tonight we're going to generate tapas within our practice. Heat. But don't worry, I won't twist you in their pretzel. We'll just get some heat going. So yeah, let me make sure it's good here. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna move you back. You come into your easy seated pose. We're gonna start with some breath work. We're gonna do Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. This is actually, you know what? Scratch that. We're actually gonna do lion's breath, because the lion's breath builds heat. And it's something that I revisited in my recent new hoop yogini training endeavor. And so I want to practice it. So we're going to do lion's breath tonight, and it's kind of fun, honestly. So move back. There we go. I can see. Awesome. Okay. Oh, yes. Let's breathe. Let's do some Nadi Shodhana, some alternate nostril breathing. So take your first finger or your middle finger. Usually the middle finger works better. And you're going to block your right nostril with the left, or right nostril with the thumb, and your left nostril with your middle finger. And the alternate nostril breathing. So as you're inhaling, push the left nostril closed and inhale through the right nostril. When you get to the top of your inhale, hold it, block the right nostril, and let the air out the opposite nostril. And then inhale through that nostril and out the other nostril. So this takes a little bit of concentration. This brings us into balance and center, inhaling through the right nostril, plugging it, exhaling out the left nostril, inhaling through that same nostril, plugging it out the other nostril. So alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Do it one more time. Go ahead and bring your hands down to your knees, and just take a moment. Notice what you notice by way of breath. Notice how this breath work has really brought you into center. Just feel balanced. Stay here with your eyes closed for a minute and see if you can take some nice full breaths. Expand the belly first. Expand into the chest and exhale. Stay here with these big breaths for a moment. Use the breath to call your presence fully onto the mat, into the practice this evening. And here you are. You've really taken the biggest step. So set your intention for discipline this evening, for perseverance in our practice tonight, and carry that with dedication. And I'll share a quote by Yoga Shanti before we start moving. Going against the grain of habit, of complacency. Tapas is the fervor of striving to be the best you can be, which may mean shifting what you do and how you do it. So let's just start by inhaling the arms all the way up. Interlock the fingers and push the fingers up push the palms up towards the sky. Let the shoulders relax. Ears away from the shoulders. Check to see if your legs tensed up. Relax them. Take an inhale to straighten the spine. And then as you exhale, lean to the right, just stretching out that side body really gently. Lengthen the spine. Open. Keep breathing. Inhale up. And exhale over to the other side. Oh, yeah. Couple breaths here again. You can even use that hand to increase the stretch. Nice and open. Inhale back up. And as you exhale, bring your arms into cactus. Relax the shoulders. You can even squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. And we're going to inhale, bring it up. And exhale, bring it back down to cactus. We're jumping right into building that tapas up tonight. Use that breath to fuel that fire, fuel that tapas. Squeezing the shoulder blades together as you come down. Extending the arms up overhead. And then exhale, back to cactus arms. 2 more times. Inhale all the way up. See if you can get those triceps in line with the ears. And then exhale back down to cactus. Reach the arms, sweep the arms forward like you're going to sweep up all the love in the world and bring it into your heart. You can rest your hands on your knees as you take your crown around and just do 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction with breath. Three circles in the other direction. Awesome. Send the legs out wide. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale the arms all the way up. Nice and straight. Bounce the knees. Make sure you're not locked out. And then fold forward. Hinge at the waist. Once you get to that forward fold, you can always use your fingertips to walk yourself out a little bit further or wait for the invitation from your body to go deeper. Take big, full breath cycles here. Really filling up the back body, releasing as you relax. Take an inhale and walk the hands back up to center. Draw the soles of your feet together into butterfly. find your still point in butterfly today. If that means sussing around a little bit, go ahead. Drawing the soles of the feet together. Allow the hips to fall open. And if you're uptight like this, that's okay. Just take a breath and see if you can relax a little bit. And if not, that's where you're at today, and it's perfect. If you keep showing up for your practice, you keep having that discipline, that tapas, you'll notice the changes. Sit in stillness here. Find your breath. For the next couple of rounds of breath, let's count our inhales, the count of 5, and count the exhales to a count of 6. Inhale to the count of 5. Exhale to the count of 6. Notice if your back started to round out. See if you can straighten up the spine. Keep going. Inhale to a count of 5. And exhale to a count of 6. Sweet. Let's take a child's pose. Keep going with that stretching. So as we're building our heat tonight, our bodies can feel good about it. So drop into your child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide, hands walk out. Resting down into your child's pose. Surrendering with a sense of ownership and accomplishment, not a sense of defeat. Surrendering your worries, surrendering any discomfort, surrendering your celebration. Let that team that's around you, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors in spirit, release your celebration so that they may celebrate with you. One more big full inhale and exhale. And then come up to tabletop. Once you get to tabletop, then tuck the toes, get ready to move to down dog. So finding your down dog, hands are planted, fingertips are wide. You can even turn those elbows in just a little bit to provide more support. The ears are in line with the triceps. Tailbone is pointing up towards the sky. Take some time here to breathe in your down dog. Get that full body back stretch again. Inhaling full and big. Feeling that heat start to ignite. And then inhaling and exhaling, bringing the feet to the hands into a forward fold. So again, really taking a little bit of time to get the body nice and stretched out, get it warmed up just a little bit, hanging out in your forward fold, pedaling the legs out, maybe swaying side to side, whatever feels good. Maybe it just feels really good to breathe, big full breaths. Let the neck and the shoulders and the whole upper body be relaxed. And then inhale all the way up to standing. Nice and slowly, inhaling all the way up. And then exhaling back to your forward fold. Hang out here for a couple of breath cycles. And then again, inhale, lift up, root to rise. Awesome. And then back into your forward fold. We're going to keep moving. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to your forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. Tuck that navel, engage the quads, engage the glutes. Nice and strong, flat back. Take an inhale, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows tucked. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. You can always drop your knees if you need that support. Untuck your toes and find your back bend. Your back bend may be different tonight than mine. Your back bend may look a little bit more like this. You can have your elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms planted in the earth. And then as you exhale, tuck the toes and push the hips up and back into down dog. Awesome. If you lost your breath, find that breath again. Take an inhale, exhale, walk the feet to the hands, forward fold. Awesome. Let's move through that again. Make sure you have a little bit of space in between your feet. Push down to lift up, root to rise. All the way up, hands up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring the hands back down to your forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale back to the forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Plank. Again, if you need the knees down, that's great. Just make sure you still have that nice flat back. Inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Build in that heat. Find that up dog. And then tuck the toes and find your down dog. Two breaths here. Inhale. And exhale, feet to hands. Forward fold. As you take your next inhale, root to rise, roll all the way up. We're going to move through that sun salutation A one more time. Hands all the way up overhead. And then as you exhale, back into that forward fold. Inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, back to forward fold. Plant the hands, feet go back, plank. Strong plank. And then inhaling. Yeah. Exhale, lower down. Untuck the toes. Find your back bend for tonight. And then tuck the toes and return to down dog. Breathe here for 2 breath cycles. And then inhale. Exhale, walk the feet to hands. Forward fold. So now in forward fold, you want to make sure that your feet are hip width distance apart. So you can take your fists, thumb to thumb, put them in between your feet. When we root to rise, we're going to root to rise right into chair. Okay. So now you know where we're going. Move with intention. Move with tapas. Inhale all the way up, all the way up. Arms go up overhead. Relax the arms. And then sit down into your chair. So sitting backwards, putting the weight into the heels and into the bum, still keeping that alignment from the crown to the tailbone. So you want a nice flat back, straight back, and then maybe turning the pinkies in just a little bit, like that, like you're holding a beach ball. Okay, so squatting, sitting in your throne, however you want to look at it, building some heat. Inhale. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to that halfway lift. As you exhale, back to your forward fold, plant the hands, step the feet back into plank. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Find your up dog, keep flowing. Tuck the toes, return to down dog. Find your down dog, and then take your right toe and draw a rainbow up towards the ceiling. Hips are still square with the earth. And then swing that right foot through to plant in between your hands and turn your left toes out so that that left heel plants. Nice long left leg in the back, generous bend in this knee in the front. Just make sure the knee isn't going over. Using your fingertips to tent, and then when you're ready, inhale up to that warrior one, nice and strong. Build that beautiful foundation, and then rise up into warrior. Taking an inhale, exhaling, bring the hands down to frame the feet. Turn the left toes in, plant the hands, shoot the right foot back into plank. Building some heat now, huh? Inhale, exhale, lower down. Untuck the toes, back bend, tuck the toes, return to down dog. All right, keep doing this. Take a breath here to refocus into your breath work. Make sure you're breathing nice big breaths. Inhaling, reaching that left foot up towards the sky. Three-legged dog with the left foot. Swing that left leg through so that the foot plants in between the hands. Right toes turn out, setting up for that warrior one on the other side. Inhale the arms up, nice and strong. Inhale, keep breathing. Exhale two, don't hold your breath. Nice big inhale again. And then exhaling, bringing the hands down to frame the feet. Turn the right toes in, plant the hands, left foot shoots back, plank. Find your plank. See if you can find that perseverance. This might be getting a little bit harder. That's okay, keep breathing. Go ahead and lower down on the exhale. Find the back bend. And then tuck the toes and return to down dog. Two breaths. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, walk the feet to the hands. Forward fold. Again, making sure you have that space in between the feet. Moving up into chair. Inhale all the way up. And then as you exhale, push that booty back. Turn the pinkies in a little bit. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. The weight is going into the heels, into the bum. You can almost maybe even lift up your toes. Breathing, abs are engaged. Feel that heat that's generating. Imagine it burning up impurities. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back for your plank. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Untuck the toes, take your back bend. Keep moving, you got this. Go ahead and tuck the toes, go to your down dog. All right, one more time. We're gonna move a little bit faster in the sun salutation B. So that right toe draws that rainbow up to the sky, staying centered, swinging that right leg through to plant, turning the left heel in, setting up for your warrior one. When you're ready and you're in a nice firm foundation, inhale the arms all the way up and sink down into your warrior. You should be pushing the weight into the outside of that back foot, pushing down into the heel. Shoulders are relaxed. Nice big inhale. Exhale, bring the hand to frame the feet. Turn those in, plant hands, shoot the foot back, find yourself in a plank, and keep flowing through to your up dog. And then tucking the toes and returning to down dog. Oh yeah, take a moment here and breathe. Feel that heat that you have generated in your system. Feels good to be alive. ahead and bring the knees down gently, untuck the toes, and find a child's pose. We're going to take a moment to really just take a moment. Find a moment to take a moment. That's what we're doing. And as you're relaxed into your child's pose, consider this. Can you match your effort with release as you rest? Without breaks, you will be unable to sustain your discipline. Just like day follows night, match some ease with your effort. Keep breathing here. Find that place of ease. And then in your next breath cycle, gently bring yourself into your tabletop position. Tuck the toes and return yourself to down dog. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, walk your feet to your hands, stay in forward fold. Use your fingertips to help support you and take your left foot and step it back, tucking the toes under. So we're going into a crescent lunge, triangle pyramid vinyasa. So find your crescent lunge. Now you can always have the knee down if you need to, especially if you have any knee issues. Otherwise, if you're looking for that nice deep stretch in the crescent lunge, set up your foundation. And then when you're ready, push down to lift up and lift up those hands. So this can look and feel similar to Warrior One, but it's different. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands down to frame the feet. Turn the left toes in like you're setting up for Warrior One and straighten that front right leg. Take your right hand, place it on the inside of your right foot, and then open up your left hand up towards the ceiling. Follow your gaze up towards your left hand. You can pretend like you're in between two panes of glass. Really pull that left shoulder open. That left hip kind of pulls open. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the left hand down to meet the right. Frame the feet with the hands. Turn your left toes inwards and then just step your left toes a little bit closer. Okay, so we're setting up for pyramid, and you always want to make sure that you don't have any discomfort in the back of your knees. If so, bring a little bit more of a bend into your knee. From here, just fold forward to your degree of comfort and breathe. And then taking an inhale and leaning into the right foot as you step your left foot up into a forward fold. So hang out in forward fold here for a minute. Notice what you're feeling on the right side from that crescent lunge sequence. And maybe ask yourself, are you shying away from effort? If you feel like you are, realign with that intention of discipline that we set at the beginning of practice. Use your breath. And also accept where you are right now in your practice. It is perfect. Equal amounts of effort and ease now, stepping that right foot back so we can take that crescent lunge. Toes tucked under, bend in that left knee. Of course, the knee isn't bending over the toe. And then when you're ready, pushing down to lift up into your crescent lunge. Awesome. And this is a little test of balance too. So if you need to bring your feet a little bit closer together to maintain that balance, you can always do that. And then you can work into moving that foot further away. from crescent lunge. Then inhale, maybe see if you can sink a little bit deeper into it. Inhale one more time, and then exhale, frame the feet with your hands. Turn those right toes out so you can sit up for triangle, bringing the left hand to the inside of the left foot, straightening that front left leg, and then opening up, looking up towards your hand, feeling that beautiful stretch, pulling that shoulder open. It'll pull that hip open. Inhaling, exhaling, bring that right hand down, frame the feet, turn those right toes in, and then again, step closer so you can take that pyramid. So both legs are straight, toes are facing forward, fingertips are there for support, feeling into what feels appropriate for your knee and your leg. Taking an inhale and then seeing if maybe you can deepen into it a little bit. Maybe while you're there, give your knee a little love, give it a little rub or a kiss if that's possible, and just say thank you, knees, for all that you do. All right, take an inhale. As you exhale, again, bring the weight into the left foot as you raise that right foot up next to it, and you can get into that forward fold. Pedal those legs out. Notice now that we've done both sides, how that feels in your body. Take a couple breaths. And then plant the hands and come down to tabletop. From tabletop here, now let's do some cat cows. This will feel really good after we've done all that work. Inhaling, dropping the belly, taking the crown towards the tailbone. Exhaling, pushing through the arms, arching the back. Inhaling for that cow. Exhaling for the cat. Find your rhythm. Move through this with grace and ease and an equal amount of effort. Awesome. Okay, we're not quite done building heat yet. So bring your knees forward so you can transition onto your bum. And then we're going to do boat pose, the elusive boat pose. This is a challenge. This builds heat really quick. I also like to put a pillow underneath my bum because my tailbone tends to dig into the ground and it's very uncomfortable. And so then I don't enjoy the pose, and I want to enjoy boat pose, and I want to build my tapas in boat pose. So I'm going to put a pillow underneath my bum. You can do the same, or if not, that's all right too. So kind of leaning back then onto that balance point, bringing the knees up, pointing the toes so that you have this shape like a boat. And you know, I'm noticing right now in my body that it's a little bit more responsive. I'm not as shaky. So again, as we move, we grow. As you hold it here, see if you can lengthen out, keep the abs engaged, and see if you can lower down all the way. Again, not bringing any strain into the neck. If that's too much, just put the feet down and then lower down with the modified crunch. So you're on your back now. Let's do bridge, another really beautiful pose. So feet are rested on the mat. Walk your feet a little bit closer to your hips. Knees are facing the front of your mat. Hands are rested into the earth. Taking a breath to relax the upper body into the earth, maybe walking the shoulders underneath you a little bit. And then when you're ready, taking an inhale, pushing up. Push down through the feet to push up through the hips. Squeeze your booty together. Squeeze those thighs. Don't let the knees fall open. Maybe imagine having a block in between the knees or actually putting a block in between the knees. You can take your hands and interlock them underneath your bum and straighten them. and really breathe into bridge. Embody that bridge between heaven and earth that you are. Nice big inhale. Exhale, lower it down, relax for a moment. We'll do that one more time. And again, inhale, push down, push down to lift up. Interlocking the hands underneath. Being careful to rest on the shoulders, not on the back of the neck or putting all of the weight in the back of the head. We're not going to do that. We're using our shoulders. And our glutes, our strong booty, our strong yoga booty. Woo! Feel that heat. And exhale. Lower down. Oh, from here, let's do a reclined pigeon. Feet are still rested on the mat. Take that right leg and figure four it to rest on the knee. The opposite knee. Reaching behind the left thigh, interlocking the fingers, relaxing that left leg. And before you really relax into the pose, check and make sure that knee, that right knee is kind of drawing away from the nose as you draw that left thigh closer to your body. Take a couple good full breaths. Noticing the opening in the hips, the body relaxing into the earth a little bit deeper. Oh, you can even let go some audible sighs, whatever feels good here, to release, to burn up. One more breath cycle here. And then as you exhale, release the grip. Left foot comes down, right foot comes down, and then just switching sides. Figure four, that left leg, and making sure that you're not too far down on your thigh or too far up. You just want it right about where the top of that kneecap starts. Again, making sure that that left knee is pulling away from the nose, interlocking your hand in between the right or behind the right leg, excuse me. And then again, using that interlock to pull the lower body towards the upper body as that left knee draws away from the nose. Couple more breath cycles here, allowing release. Give your body permission to release some of that stress that might be stored in the pelvis or the tension that the pelvis has been holding on to. The body keeps the score. So you get a +5 for showing up for practice tonight. As you exhale, go ahead and release. Bring the left foot down to the mat. Draw the soles of the feet together so that you can relax into Supta Baddha Konasana. So that reclined butterfly where the feet are rested on the floor. Soles of the feet are together. Knees are wide and you're open. So stay here and breathe. Enjoy this opening. Maybe bring in that breath work where you're counting 5 for the inhale, 6 for the exhale out of the mouth. Go ahead and take this next breath and use it to take a full body stretch. So send your arms overhead, your legs long, big full breath in, that just really nice full body stretch, expansive. And then hug the knees into the chest. so that you can just give yourself a little bit of love, a little bit of acknowledgement for showing up for yourself, having the discipline to get to the mat so that you can build that internal fire. You can keep fueling that fire, keep fighting the good fight, right? And then stretch out overhead again, another big full body stretch before you start to settle in for Shavasana. As you're settling in for Shavasana, then you just want to make sure that you're walk your shoulders down the mat a little bit. Relax into this space that you've created for yourself. Taking the first couple of breaths to just melt into the mat. Inhale that nourishing, fresh prana, life force energy. And then as you exhale, let it take what needs to be released and let your body just melt into the mat. And as you rest with a sense of well-deserved release. Offer gratitude for your effort. What happens on the mat shows us what can happen off the mat. Consider where you might bring the lesson and practice of perseverance into other areas of your life. Take a moment to ponder that. And take a big inhale. Hold it at the top. And as you exhale, just release any awareness around anything. Create the space for yourself to just breathe.
Standing here in the rain, I can see the water soaking through the holes in your shoes. And turn your mind from the storm, picture somewhere safe where it's soft and warm. I'm waiting here on the dim street light, orange dances around in your empty eyes. And I can see straight into your soul, feeling oh so lost and out of control. Oh, shine. If your heart tells you to, then who are you to question it? Shine. If the world gets you down, don't be afraid to wrestle it. Shine. You have your whole life ahead of you, can't make a mess of it. Shine. If your heart tells you to, then who are you to question it? Who are you to question it? Tired now, feeling scared, unfamiliar light floods into the room. You have woken to hopeful eyes looking out as you wait alone, hiding tears of doubt, now holding back as you realize your abandonment, you're being cast aside. And I can see straight into your soul, feeling oh so lost and out of control. Shine. If your heart tells you to, then who are you to question it? Shine. If the world gets you down, don't be afraid to wrestle it. Shine. You have your whole life
Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start coming back. Take a couple of big full breaths as you stretch your arms up overhead. Again, taking that full body stretch. As you're ready to roll on to your side, roll onto that right side. Take that fetal position with your arm underneath your head. Get a little vagus nerve stimulation going on here. A little gratitude for yourself, for your practice this evening, for the tapas that you created for yourself in your practice tonight, and then extending it out into the rest of your life. When you're ready, go ahead and sit up into the new beginning you just created for yourself. And we'll close class like we always do, inhaling those arms up overhead. Big, expansive, powerful, and sovereign. And again, inhaling, fortifying that rose quartz bubble, nothing less than love in and nothing less than love out. And one last time, inhaling all the way out, feeling all of the joy for this day that we were given. Putting that gratitude right in our heart to carry us through to tomorrow. May you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and nourished. May you love and be loved. And may you truly be happy. May your practice bring you peace. And may you share your peace with the world. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Namaste. Soba. All right. Thank you so much for joining practice this evening. We'll be back again next Monday. And until then, keep building your tapas.